Welcome back to Talking Sports with Chris. I'm Chris, and today I'll be doing my first four picks of the NFL draft, my predictions or my mock draft, part one, the first four picks, and I'll also be doing my top two impact signings in the tight end part of free agency this past for the NFL. So quickly, we'll do the NFL draft. So before going to number one overall pick, I have the Chicago Bears taking Caleb Williams. It's a no-brainer. Caleb Williams is the best quarterback coming out of college, coming out of USC. Um, he's the consensus number one overall pick. Um, Last year he threw for 3,633 yards and 30 touchdowns with five interceptions, which is good for a quarterback. And he won the Heisman Trophy, I think it was 2 years ago. And it's a good fit with Chicago now because they don't have they just traded away Justin Fields, so I think they are definitely expecting to get Caleb Williams. I don't see them trading back as some reports were saying before, but to now get like a try different with a new quarterback to pair up with like guys like DJ Moore and Gerald Everett, which I would talk about a little later, and Keenan Allen, and DeAndre Swift. I think Caleb Williams is going to be a great fit, and they have a young coaching staff as well. So this is a young team coming into that's going to come into the NFL season. I definitely can see Caleb Williams getting drafted to Chicago. I mean, they're not a bad team. They just need some more offensive line, and they get their quarterback in the future with Caleb Williams. And then you got weapons for Caleb Williams. Like I said before, you got DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, Khalil Herbert. It's not a bad team to put Caleb Williams with, and they already have a great defense. So it's not like Caleb Williams is gonna have to score so many points. They have a defense of Montez Sweat, Tremaine Edmonds, and Jalen Johnson. So I think Caleb Williams going to Chicago is the biggest and is the best fit. So number two overall pick, Jaden Daniels going to Washington. And I see this as well because they just traded away Sam Howell. And I think Jaden Daniels being an elusive quarterback. He won the Heisman Trophy last year with LSU. Last year, statistical wise, he threw for 3,812 yards, 40 touchdowns, and four interceptions. It's better. It's statistically wise, it's better than Caleb Williams. But I think since Williams is such he's like the star quarterback of this draft. That's why I think he goes number one. But Jaden Daniels is such a good quarterback, and to put him I'm not saying Washington's good. They're kind of a mid team, but they also have a good veteran quarterback in Marcus Mariota. So if you put Jaden Daniels in that offense, and you got Marcus Mariota teaching them the ways. And they signed Austin Eckler to be a weapon for their new quarterback, which I think is going to be Jaden Daniels. They still got Brian Robinson. They still got Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Zach Ertz. I think if they bring in Jaden Daniels, at least maybe get some more offensive line. But Jaden Daniels is a good fit. He's elusive. He's a good runner. He's a great pass thrower. Um, like Jaden Daniels is such a good quarterback. I mean, he won the Heisman Trophy for a reason last year. And he brought a lot of good with LSU last year. He was sacked 22 times. He's a guy to get sacked a lot. Like in his first season of college football, where he played with Arizona State, he was sacked 32 times. 2020 was sacked 6 times, but that was like a shortened season. And in 2021, he was sacked 26 times. 2022, 43 times, and then 2023, 22 times. Which, if at least he like knows how to take a hit now. I mean, and now he's going under a pretty bad offensive line in Washington. But since he knows how to take a hit, I think he would do well under the offense of Washington. And they got rid of Ron Rivera, so they'll have a better coach now to train and to develop Jaden Daniels. So that's why I think he's going to be going with Washington as the best fit. Next, I got Drake May getting drafted to the New England Patriots. Last year for North Carolina, he threw 3,608 yards with 24 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Quarterback rating of 79.3. And this is a good fit for New England. I mean, they also traded their quarterback Mac Jones. He was a tried attempt for to be a good the new quarterback of the future. Did not work out. They kind of tried with Bailey Zappi, didn't work out. But see, the thing is the Patriots have weapons. They have weapons. I mean, they have Kendrick Bourne, KJ Osborne, Jalen Rager, Ramondre Stevenson. They signed Antonio Gibson. They have Hunter Henry. I mean, they have good weapons. Juju Smith-Schuster. They need a quarterback who's going to perform well, and also an offensive line. I mean, everybody needs an offensive line at this point. All these top picks, but if like and since they just got traded Mac Jones, they're obviously going to go for a quarterback this draft. So that's why I think Drake May can be picked. And it's like he's the best quarterback on the board too. The Patriots did show interest in Drake May as well. So this is like a best player available type situation for the New England Patriots. And he's also going to be with Jacoby Brissett if he's drafted there. So that's good. Like that's a good quarterback to like learn from. I mean, Jacoby Brissett knows how to play, knows how to win. So I think that the New England Patriots will draft quarterback Drake May. Now, next, I think that Minnesota Vikings is going to trade up. So I think they're going to trade with Arizona Cardinals, and they're going to take the 4th overall pick to draft Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy. I think McCarthy is going to go with the Vikings. The Vikings have shown immense amount of love to McCarthy. They really think he's the guy. Last year, he threw for 2,991 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. And it just makes sense for Minnesota. They just traded up to the 14th overall pick, I believe, with the trade with Houston. And now since they have more draft capital, they can trade up to a 4th overall pick. And they just need a quarterback because they missed out on Kirk Cousins, who signed with the Atlanta Falcons. And it's not like the Vikings are bad. They just made the playoffs last year. They're just filled with injuries, and I mean Kirk Cousins was out for the season last year, but now they need a better quarterback, and because they only have Sam Darnold and Nick Mullins right now. So might as well bring in quarterback of J.J. McCarthy. I mean, it's worth the risk with the amount of weapons they also have. Like they have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. They signed Aaron Jones. They have T.J. Hawkinson, and they don't have a bad offensive line. I mean, Christian Darrisaw is pretty good. I kind of like Garrett Bradbury. Like, they don't have a bad team. They just need a quarterback. I mean, they were in the playoffs just 2 years ago, playing the wild card before losing to the Giants. But I think Minnesota could be a good team in the next 2 or 3 years if they go up, trade up, and draft the quarterback of the future, being J.J. McCarthy now. So I think that would be that's my 4th overall pick. That's gonna be my last pick. We're gonna do 8 parts with 4 picks each of the first round. But yeah, I think Minnesota's gonna trade up and they're gonna draft J.J. McCarthy. Now to our impact, my top two impact signings for the tight end position. Number one, Gerald Everett going to the Chicago Bears. Um, I think this, like last year, he had 51 receptions, 411 yards, and three touchdowns. Now, the reason why I think this would be good is it gives Chicago and Caleb Williams possibly another target to be with. I mean, there's a reason why they got Gerald Everett and Keenan Allen and all these guys is because they're trying to build up their offense to help Caleb Williams. So that's why I think like this is gonna be a great signing because it backs up Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet gets hurt, you still have a good tight end, Gerald Everett. You have like a 1-2 punch here, and to like have this amount of weapons for Caleb Williams. I mean, it's gonna be good. I mean, and Everett's been consistent with touchdown wise. I mean, 3 in 2023, 4 in 2022, 4 in 2021. Only 1 in 2020, but 2 in 2019, 3 in 2018, and 2 in 2017. That's somewhat consistent with a total of 19 touchdowns. So just to give another weapon to Caleb Williams or whoever they choose at the number one overall pick for quarterback will be pretty nice. I mean, I'm a big fan of Gerald Everett. I think he's a good tight end. So I think this is gonna be a nice fit with Chicago. Gives Caleb Williams um, another weapon, and that's gonna be good for Chicago. I mean, and it's a short deal. It's not too expensive. So that it's gonna be a nice little veteran presence. Maybe helps Cole Kmet as well. So and he reunites with his old offensive coordinator Waldron. So that's also like you gotta have that connection. So that's also really well. And then my second and last impact sign for the tight end is Mike Gesicki going to the or not Baltimore, the Cincinnati Bengals. So he's really nice. Well, not like he's a good player is what I'm trying to say. He had a little down year, but it was in New England, so that makes sense. He had 29 receptions for 244 yards and two touchdowns. But that was with New England. I don't really want to count that. I mean, this kid's good. He's good, and he comes to a good Cincinnati offense. I mean, last year Cincinnati wasn't even that bad. They just Joe Burrow just got hurt. They looked like they were gonna roll in. They were rolling. Even Jake Browning is still a decent quarterback. So if Joe Burrow's not ready, put Jake Browning in, and that brings like I don't think like last year tight end wise for the Cincinnati Bengals they didn't really have one. They had like Tanner Hudson, Drew Sample, Irv Smith Jr. But that's not like really like a big tight end like. I consider Mike Gesicki a star tight end because he's such a good player, and that gives Joe Burrow a nice little addition to the offense with Jamar Chase, Zach Moss. I don't think T Higgins is gonna still be there, but I think they at least try to draft a receiver. So so Gesicki going to um Bengals is really nice, good, and they've been upping their offensive line too. So Joe Burrow's gonna have some time to throw to these guys. Like they still have Orlando Brown Jr., Ted Karras, and Alex Kappa, Trent Brown. Like it's a decent offensive line. So I think the offense for Cincinnati's gotten way better, and they were just in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So I think they can definitely come back and get better as the season goes along. So, well, it was a quick episode today for Talking Sports with Chris. Those were my four picks. So my four picks being Caleb Williams to the Bears, Jaden Daniels to the Commanders, Drake May to the Patriots, and JJ McCarthy to the Vikings. So, yep, those are my four prediction mock draft picks for part one. The draft is on its way. I think it was April 25th is the first round. So, and that's all. So, thank you for listening or watching, whatever. Have a good night.